A very warm welcome to Enterprise Friday on Enterprise TV. We are back with everything that's worth a conversation. At the end of it, worth it. Sure,
and I'm Henry Igwebike.
All right, we head straight into our newspaper segment, but not without first inviting you to be a part of our community and have a say in what we say. We are at Enterprise TV 7 across all social media. You subscribe, comment, like, and share. You can also log on to our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Our guest for this segment is Barrister Evans Sofali. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Enterprise Friday.
Yes.
All right, without further ado, let's head straight to the Punch newspaper. And the big story here is Forex. MTN blew, others seek NCC nod for tariff hike.
And the rider to the big story says the telcos risk a shutdown without a tariff increase to offset a rise in cost. And that's coming from Alton and Atkin. And the sub-rider to the same story says operators await NCC approval as regulators review tariff band operating cost.
All right, and the top strip, we have Senate panel seeks extension of 30 trillion naira loans probe.
And back to our exchange rate again, dollar demands pushes naira to 1,420 to the dollar.
Interesting here on the bottom strip, Dangote Forex shortage delays crude supplies.
And also, interestingly, Keredolu's ex-deputy Ajayi wins Ondo PDP ticket.
All right, so this story is quite interesting. Nnpc blames logistics for worsening fuel queues, and that's what we're turning our attention to this morning. To do justice to that story is Barrister Evans Sofali. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so the story here about Nnpc blaming shortages of supply, to logistics is quite interesting, but I found a more interesting twist. I'll just look at it for a minute. Even though they're saying that it's been handled, but we have a part of the story here that quite interests me. Barrister Evans. So the situation continued on Thursday as the Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Abuja Suleja branch, Mohammed Shuaibu, told the media that there was still a low supply of PMS to the capital city and its environs. So the Nnpc obviously has a conflicting, response as to what the real situation is and what they are saying. And they are blaming, the shortage of fuel supply, or PMS supply, to logistics. Help us understand what this logistics is about and who is responsible for logistics.
Well, it's the marketers that move it across the country.
Right.
When it's imported, it comes through their Papa ports. The Nnpc control a large part of the importation. Independent marketers who import also control part of it. But the logistics we are talking about here is the one around the country.
Okay.
We only have this archaic model, which is trucking. Trucking is the only model where before now, in the 80s and the early 90s, we have pipeline moving finished product from Lagos to Kaduna to other places, pipeline. So you can almost immediately have the product once it is pumped from Lagos or from any other place, Calabar, any other place. You almost immediately get it in the north. Okay. But today, the only model we use is trucking. Now, trucking comes with a lot of logistic hazards, accident, breakdown, which is often the case, and sometimes theft, except that now that people are hungry, they are not, because fuel is not what you can drink. Otherwise, people will be stopping the vehicles to drink it.
Mm.
Okay, just like they stop vehicles carrying food and so this ancient way of trucking is not good enough. In the US, they don't truck at all. If you must move finished product, you must move it underground. That's the regulation, that's the policy and the standard. Because of the hazard. Sometimes the truck falls, if there's a spark, there are casualties. So then they are right, but what they are not telling us is, now that you know, not just now that you know already that logistics is a problem. What have you done? What have the federal government done about this to, make it work? If the pipelines we have by the federal government are no longer efficient because government is handling it, why not bring independent investors into it? Let them construct pipelines. Those who want to move forward will pay and they'll move it through the pipelines across the country. That would have been a better way to go about it, because the federal government pipelines have been vandalized. There's no proper surveillance. There's no proper management and all that. So that is one way to have this solved. Another way to have this solved is to use our waterways. What are our waterways for? What are they meant for? You see, we actually have big vessels that can lift this product from anywhere to anywhere. In the case of Abuja, you can move it through our waters here to Benue, through the Benue as is. From Benue, you can take it through to Abuja.
Okay.
Because you cannot move from water from the south to the north directly.
Okay.
But you can move from the south to the north central. You understand? Which is already Abuja in a manner of speaking. So, if we can deploy that option, fine. I think that is the two options. And this trucking, there must be a legislation on it that it's not a good way. You are moving inflammable substances. You are taking even gas. We truck it. Whereas in civilized country, it is piped. You pipe it and move it through the pipes. So we are still going to have the same. We continue to have the same problem because you don't have good roads in the first place. Another option is that the railways. The railway, we don't have trains who can move in tanks. The railways we have, I don't know how many trains we will have. Those trains are locomotive. They have locomotive engine. If that train moves from here and you start trekking, you that trekking to Abuja might get there before that train. I don't know how it works, but I'm saying we have the options. We can deploy those options, but we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Let's look away from our roads. And that is the reason our roads are always getting bad, because those roads are overheated. The cars, the truck, the only thing we have not put on our road are the trains. You understand? So we're going backward. We're not moving forward. They shouldn't tell us why, because I was in the FCT and the first scarcity is people were just walking, trekking. Cars were stopping on the road and traffic because there's no, we have a better situation in Lagos. In Abuja is from the airport to the city, they are charging about 25,000. They say there's no fuel. That's when they have PMS, it used to be 15,000. Well, now that there's no PMS, they charge 25,000. You're already in Abuja. So the question is, when you go to Abuja, how much do you even spend from where you're coming from to Abuja that you have to spend 25,000 within Abuja?
So, all right. So let's help us understand this APC economic postulate, if there's a phrase like that. And of course, it's because of the exchange rate that we have. We have a story here. Dollar demand pushes Naira to 1,420 Naira. Just a couple of weeks back, the APC actually celebrated when it was 1,100. Shatima, the vice president, at some point made a jest of the opposition, saying that his boss understands, the forex more than any other person. Today, it is 1,420 Naira. What is happening?
You see, we predicted this now, that as long as there's no productivity, there's no production, you are not earning this thing. It's going to be temporary relief. What the federal government did was to open the valve of supply. The principle of demand and supply now came in. When the dollar was surplus all over the place, the price had to go down. Then they went into inwards and look at those who sabotage the process, the CBN, and sack them, thinking they are the solution. We said it here that when did our economy now grow on the area of productivity, that the Naira have now gained strength overnight to be able to push the dollar to 945. After 950, 900 plus. Yes. So when did you do? Because before the dollar rose to that level, it was a process. It was not overnight. It was a process. A process. The dollar gained strength as a result of our docility, our inability to sustain the remaining manufacturing company in the country, who all now left to Ghana where they will have electricity supply. Then SMEs and all that, the ones that produce. Then export. Our major export is crude. What other thing are we exporting and how much are we getting in from that? I mean, so you say you understand it. And we said it then that if this dollar can go down overnight like this. The process of repressing it is mechanical. It's not on the basis of the economic truth of what is going on. What the federal government did was to take shame off them by trying to push it to that point. But now it has gained strength back, 1,400. So what are they going to do? Are they going to make the supply again, then give the BDC more than they require, or more than they want, to push and ensure that the solution is electricity. It starts with electricity. When you have electricity, you're able to encourage manufacturing. We have so many people who can export. We cannot export them because we cannot manufacture them and all that. So that's where the problem lies. It's not in the movement.
Right.
All right. Let's move on to our Nnpc trust. And the big story here says the bandits attack Zumi Amiel's palace, killed 3. And the writer there says destroys GSM masts, ex-national administrator's house also hit.
All right. On the top strip, we have Airpeace pilot ask for priority landing after fake fire alert.
Yes, and also on the side of the same newspaper, we have constant hands over 6,240 intercepted dynamites to DSS.
Right. Also, we have German police arrest 11 Nigerians for dating fraud.
And we have it finally Ndogandu J agreed the aspirants meeting ends in deadlock. So let's talk about the attack. The bandits attacked Zumi's Amiel's palace, killed 3. In the course of that, they destroyed the GSM mast, I guess, just to maybe hide their position or so
Identity.
Yes, exactly. So, but what we're asking is this: when these criminals have such temerity to not just attack ordinary Nigerians, but going as far as attacking people they hold so dear, or people the community hold so dear, what is left?
Nothing is left. Well, asking what is left, I mean, we have not been able to secure ourselves because of the way we have allowed things to degenerate. Okay, this conversation of state police that a lot of people are opposing now, or some people are opposing, it's actually the part of the answer to the problem. You know, when people say the state police will not work, it looked like we had it before in Nigeria. Okay, we had the state police, we had local government police. You understand? If you have local government police in that vicinity, at least even if they are coming to harm people, there will be some level of resistance. If the local government police is not able to do that, they communicate the state police. The state police is able to, do some level of resistance. If they can't, they involve the federal police. So that is what it is. It's supposed to be a chain of synergy. But here you don't know what you have in those palace of the emirs and all that. Sometimes they have security, but they are not much. So you have security that can be overpowered. You understand? In these communities, how much of technology do they deploy in security? Even the country as a whole. You understand? So the bandits will always have their way in those areas because, one, the community cannot resist them, cannot stop them. Even the state. You understand? Half of the policemen, or maybe a huge chunk of the policemen deployed to a particular state. Maybe half of them will be guarding the governor or something like that. Others are deployed 2, 2, 3 to different 2, 3 policemen. Cannot, maybe the emir's palace will have maybe 2. So those 2 cannot do anything.
Okay. All right. So let's also look at the story that I think may ruffle a few feathers. Custom hands over 6,240 intercepted dynamites to DSS. The proliferation of small arms in the country is something to be scared about. And if you ask me, I'll tell you for free, this will just end in a press conference. They'll just hold the press conference, bring all the media together and tell them, they're able to confiscate, this amount of dynamites without bringing the culprits to book. So, I haven't seen arrest in terms of, so these are the people responsible for bringing in small arms and the XYZ. But this leaves a lot of questions unanswered. 6,240 dynamite in a country that is on tenterhooks, if we have this saturated in the country, don't you fear for state implosion?
Yeah, that fear is there. But you know, we read this in the news all the time.
Right.
That this is intercepted, that is intercepted. From the maritime laws of Nigeria and the world, before a ship that is bringing goods into a country, that's what we call the bill of lading. The bill of lading is the document that captures the information of what is in the ship, who is bringing it in, from where is bringing it to, and where is taking it to. So you have that information. So once a ship is intercepted, from the bill of lading, you can actually arrest, you can actually make arrests. But what they do is they arrest the ship, okay, confiscate the goods. We don't hear anything about the perpetrators, the people bringing it in.
Sure.
We don't get to see them arrested. We don't get to see them tried in court for bringing contraband. Yeah, it's contraband. You are not allowed as a private citizen, other than the military, to bring in firearms, ammunition, explosives into the country. You are not allowed. They are not allowed to import camouflage.
Even for mining, because the dynamite seems like it's for mining.
Yes, like it's for mining. When it's for mining, there is a special process through which you do that, which is approved by the NSA. You understand? And then I think they won't deploy government officials too. Yes, I know about that very well. I did a case similar to that. So it's a national security case. If it's for mining, it's for anything other than, attacks.
Right.
You need that state clearance to go through that. But most times, we don't see them being prosecuted.
True.
Just like insurgents are not prosecuted. These ones are not prosecuted. So are we serious about the war against this? Because some of these explosives will get into the hands of bandits in the long run. And before you know it, they are used against society, against innocent people.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's head straight to the next paper, which is the Vanguard, if we have time. Henry, the big story here reads, LP PDP kicks as US report says 2023 poll mirrored Nigeria's will.
And also we have
the
writer that which says the report admitted APC rigged election, surprised over its conclusion, and that's coming from the Labour Party.
And then the sub-writer says, we won't allow Nigeria become one-party state. PDP, this is credited to PDP, it's welcome, but we don't need external validation. APC presidency says votes were not suppressed in Lagos.
All right. And on the top strip of the same newspaper, we have our universities promote ethnic bias, and that's coming from Bishop Kuka.
We also have here audit report declared Dana Air unhealthy for operations, and this is credited to the Minister for Aviation, Keyamo.
And Okwama is still on the dailies again. Okwama communities are shown house committees investigative hearing.
Right. I think that's all we have to take on the Vanguard. You want to take one more story for West Evan?
That's all we have with Tinubu Dutch PM discussed trade as investment rise by $250 million.
Right. And we also have here, Henry, 119 inmates escape as heavy rains destroy Suleja prisons.
All right. So, Barrister, let's take a look at Okwama again. Communities, Sean House, communities investigative hearing. Does that mean that at this point they feel they feel left behind, they feel aggrieved, they feel no one is speaking for them, and therefore they are willfully angered by what has been served them, and therefore they feel at this point there's no need?
Yes, because the House Committee hearing is not a priority. Hearing on what? You have not rescued people, you have not given them a recompense for the loss, so you don't care about it. In fact, you won't say that people who ordinarily could have offered help should not even enter the place. Journalists who are supposed to go out, bring out the story that the public will feed on and make informed decision on to how to help or do whatever. So they should not go. Have you noticed that throughout this Okwama story, all you hear all you see or read is not about what is going on in the place.
In the community.
It has to do with what is going on outside. Either the bush they are being killed, they are being eaten by animals, or that the governor is about to access the place, could not access it. But that's what you hear. You don't hear anything about what's going on with the team. You understand? And you know, in times like this, a lot of crimes are perpetrated. Even sometimes by uniform men, when there is no information, everywhere you see that you don't know what is going on. So how put it? Then you're not talking about house committee hearing. House committee hearing on what exactly? We know what happened, what transpired, that people are displaced and all that. You have not done, you don't have any hearing or strategy to better their life or change their story. So you want them to be excited about it.
Exactly. Actually, I think it's very important we allow Barrister talk on the U.S. consulate and the report on the 2023 polls.
Okay, that's okay.
So let's talk about that, because Nigerians on comment sections all over social media is saying this is lesson after that. That this is a report they would have stated right after the elections. But right now they're coming to say it. But what news is it?
They're coming to say what?
They're coming to say that there were discrepancies during the elections, that people weren't allowed to vote.
It wasn't free and fair.
Yeah, and they mentioned the Igbos in Lagos particularly were not allowed to vote during the gubernatorial elections and all.
But after the election, immediately after the election, most of the observers that came said that the process was okay. Few of them pointed out this issue we are talking about. The U.S. Embassy, I can't remember whether they made a statement.
They made a statement, but they didn't say anything to it.
Yes, they made a statement, yes. I remember they made a statement during that. But now they are giving a full report. This report can do little.
Yeah.
Okay, right now, because it could have been a persuasive story or evidence in court if this was made before the litigation or during litigation or whatever it is.
All right.
It could have made some level of persuasion, but it did not. So, but it's better late than never. You're bringing in now. Well, it's just for the optics. Not anything.
Right. Thank you so much, Barrister Evan Sufeli, for your time on the newspaper review segment.
All right, so when we return, manhunt on the way as more than 100 prisoners escape from correctional facility in Suleja. Just take that in a beat. When we come back, please don't go through.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.